Hello, in this video I will show you how to create a weather mashup using Thingworx. This is how the final mashup looks like. We have a list which displays our things, and in our case the things are farmland locations, a Google Map widget, a Google location picker in order to set up the wanted location, a button and two gauges which will display the temperature and the humidity. By selecting any location on the map and clicking the Set Location button, Thingworx will return the temperature and the humidity values for a specific location. This application is useful for the smart farm because we would like to know when the temperature hits 0 degrees, because it could impact the crop. So every time the temperature is below or equal to 0 degrees, we will receive an email alert from Thingworx. Now, let's see how to create this mashup. All you need in order to access the platform is an internet browser. We recommend Google Chrome browser because it's optimized for the Thingworx platform. Your academic Thingworx instance will be deployed in the cloud, but for this example I choose to connect to my local instance. This is how the composer looks like. The composer environment is an end-to-end application modeling environment designed to help you easily build the unique applications of today's connected world. Composer makes it easy to model the things, business logic, visualization, data storage, collaboration, and security required for a connected application. The selections on the left side of the Explorer are known as entity groups. Clicking any item in this list filters the list of entities in the main part of the tab. Cursoring over any entity in this bar displays buttons for creating a new entity instance or setting permissions for that entity type. Here in the left upper corner we have the Spotlight search, which is a tool used to quickly access entities or create new entities. For our weather application, we will want to create first a model tag, then a Fink template, and then the things. We will add also a service which will bring the temperature values directly from the Yahoo weather site for any location we choose. Then we will add an alarm which will send us a notification email if the temperature goes below 0 degrees Celsius, and after that we will create the mashup. The model tags are a mechanism to label Thingworx objects and data to assist in grouping, filtering, and locating Thingworx objects and searching data efficiently. The model tags also help us to easily export all the entities which are tagged with a specific label. In order to create this model tag, I will go to the model tag entities and click on the plus sign. This will open a new tab where I can give a name to my tag. So let's name it weather tag. I will save it and then go back to editing mode in order to add a term to this new model thing. The model tag represents actually a vocabulary. It can contain one or more terms. I will click on the Manage Terms button and add a term named Yahoo and click Done and Save. For our application, I will want to add a Fink template. This time I will use the Spotlight search in order to create the template. I will type plus Fink template and hit enter. The Thingworx application development environment operates on an object or thing-driven model, which means that you represent your processes in terms of things and Fink templates that have properties and business logic. Every thing can have a template. If we bind the template to a thing, then the thing will inherit all the properties of the template. In addition to configuring the things and the templates to represent your physical assets, you can also use things for a variety of other tasks. To facilitate this, all things are based on Fink template. For our example, I will create a Fink template which will have three properties: a temperature, a humidity property, and a location property. Let's name the template weather template and tag it with the previously created model tag. When you create a thing, you can base it off of your custom template, one of the built-in Fink templates, or the generic template. For this template, I will want to use the generic template, which does not contain any special properties. In order to add the temperature, humidity, and location property, I will go to the Properties tab and click on the Add My Property button. The first property is named temperature and is of type number. For our weather mashup, I will want to have an alert if the temperature goes below 0 degrees Celsius. So I will click on Manage Alerts and select New Alert of type below and give it a name. Let's say temperature is below 0 and type in the limit 0. Click on Update and then on the Done Add button. I will add the humidity property, choose type number and click Done Add. And we also want to display the location of our farmland, so I also add the location property. Now we have the local properties created, but we also need a service which will bring the temperature and humidity values from the Yahoo Weather website. So we need to go to Services and add the Get Yahoo Weather Information service. All things have services. These services are functions that can change the properties of a thing. They are not limited, just changing the properties of a thing, but can do anything since they are written using JavaScript. A service, like any function, has input parameters and can return one output value. For this example, I've already added this service. The script of this service is available on the landing page. It receives as an input a location, and as an output it sends the values for the selected location to our temperature and humidity properties. Now we have our service, and we also want to alert the user if the temperature goes below 0 degrees Celsius, so we need to create a subscription. Any entity can subscribe to its own or another entity's event. When the event is fired, the source of the event passes the event data to the subscriber. For our alert, we will want to send an email to johndoe@weather.com and inform him that the temperature is below 0 degrees for a specific location. So I will go to the subscription tab, click on Add My Subscription button. In the subscription info tab, we will want to subscribe an alert, so we choose alert. The alert will be triggered on the temperature property. We will want to have the subscription enabled, so I tick the enabled property. Now, in order to send an email, we need also a notifier. I've already have a notifier which is named weather notifier. It's actually a thing which has as a Fink template the mail server. The mail server template has some email configuration properties which are visible in the configuration tab. I've configured the thing properly for my email server. It has also a mail account user which sends the notifications. In our case, it is the Thingworx@weather.com account. Now, going back to our subscription, we need to search this weather notifier entity in the entities tab. By choosing the weather notifier, a lot of pre-built services will be available. In order to send an email, we need to search for the send message service and click on the blue arrow in order to add it. This will add on our script workspace some JavaScript code which will send the email. We just need to configure it properly. So we want to send an email to johndoe@weather.com with the message temperature alert. The temperature is, and now plus me.temperature in order to display the values of the temperature, plus degrees Celsius. And the subject is temp alert for the farmland, and plus me dot name of the thing. Okay, and from Thingworx@weather.com. Click on the Done button and save our progress. Now we have created the weather template and added a service and one subscription. Now let's create our things. So I will go back on the Explorer, cursor over the things entities, and click the plus sign. Let's name our first thing, which is actually a farmland location, Alpha. Select the weather template as template and tag it with our model tag. Now if we go to the properties, we will see that it has inherited the temperature, humidity and location properties, and also the service and the subscription which we previously created. Let's add a second thing and name it beta. Select the weather template again and tag it. Now we have our things and we can create a mashup, so I will type in the Spotlight search plus mashup and hit enter. A mashup can be responsive or static. A responsive mashup means that it will always fill to the resolution of the display, never leaving any unused space around the mashup. I will choose responsive and click done. This is how the mashup builder looks like. On the left side we have the widget side of the mashup. We have 3 tabs: widgets, mashups and workspace. And on the middle we have our work area, or also named workspace, where we drag and drop our widgets plus our services to bind them to the widgets. And on the bottom we have the 2 tabs, connections and to do, that help us to see if we did the correct bindings and if we forgot to bind something from the workspace. And on the right side we have the services part of the mashup. Now we will need to add our widgets to the workspace. We need to split the page into 5 parts and add 2 gauges for the temperature and humidity properties, 1 list in which we are going to display our farmlands, a Google Map location picker in order to select the location, a Google Map widget to display the location, a refresh button which will automatically refresh our mashup so that the latest temperature and humidity values are displayed, and a button which will set the location of the farmlands. From the widgets panel on the top left, I will search for the layout widget and drag and drop it onto my workspace. I will want to split the page in 3 columns and then click on done. Now I want to split the first 2 columns into 2 rows, so I drag and drop the layout widget and select vertical and 2 rows. Same for the second column, and I can also copy paste any widget I've already added to the workspace. Now I will search for a list and drag and drop it to the workspace. We also need a Google Map, so I drag and drop the widget onto my work area. And I will also add 2 gauges to display the properties of the things. So I drag and drop them. Now we also need to set the location of our things, so we need to add the location picker from the widgets panel. This one is not responsive, so I will first add a panel and then the widget. And I also need a button which will set the location, so I drag and drop the button widget and rename it to set location. In order to have the information updated without refreshing the browser, I will add an auto refresh widget. Now we need to import the get Yahoo Weather Information service to our mashup and bind the data. So I will click the green plus button next to the data tab on the top right hand side of the mashup editor. In the search entities text box of the pop-up window that appears, I will type weather template, and the weather template we have just created should appear at the top of the filtered list. So I will select it. Now I will tick the dynamic property because I want to call the service for only one thing at a time. In the select services text box, I will search for the get Yahoo Weather Information and click on the blue arrow in order to add it to the selected services list. I will check mashup loaded checkbox. This will cause the get Yahoo Weather Information service to be called when your mashup page is first opened. in order to display the temperature and humidity property, I will search for the get properties service. This will get the properties of everything. And in order to set the location of the thing, I will need to add the set properties service. So I search and add it in order to display in the list all the things which were created using the weather template. I will uncheck the dynamic property and search for the get implementing things. I will want this service to be loaded when mashup loads, so I tick the loaded checkbox. We have added all the services that we need, so I click on the done button. Now we need to bind the services to the widgets. First of all, I will go to the get implementing things service and drag and drop all the data over the list and bind it to the data. This will display all the created things. Now I will choose at the list properties the display and value field which I want to have. In this case I want to have the name of the things. Now the services called get and set properties need as an input an entity name. So I will pick the name from the get implementing things selected row property and drag and drop it over the entity name. We want to display the temperature and humidity of our thing, so I go to the get properties service and drag and drop the temperature property over the gauge and bind it to the data. We also can change some properties of the gauge. For instance, I want to have the values also displayed inside of the gauge, so I go to the value display mode and choose inside. Same for the humidity, so drag and drop the value, bind it to the data and change the value display mode to inside. Now we also want to see the current location of our farmlands, so I drag and drop the location over the Google Map widget and bind it to the selected location. I also can edit its properties, so I tick the show selection marker property in order to easily identify its location. Now we need to set the locations of our things, so I pick up the location from the location picker and drag and drop it on the location value of the set properties service. This service also needs an event to be triggered, so I drag and drop the clicked event of the button over the service. Our get Yahoo weather information service needs a location as an input, so I'll drag and drop the location from the get properties service over the location input parameter. And now we also need an event which will call the service after choosing the location. So I drag and drop the service invoke completed from the set properties over the get Yahoo weather information service. So every time I change the location, I will call the service again with the new location as an input. After selecting another thing from my list, I will want to display the properties of the new selected thing, so I need to call the get properties service again. In order to do this, I will take the selected row changed event from the get implementing things and drag and drop it on the get properties service. After the service invoke of the get Yahoo weather information is completed, I will call the get properties service again in order to display the temperature and humidity values for that location. The only unbound widget which remains is the auto refresh, so I will go to it and I will bind the refresh event to the get Yahoo weather information service and to the get properties service. The widget is preset to refresh every 30 seconds. This refresh rate can be changed from the properties. Now let's save our work and view the mashup. So I will go to the general information section and let's name the new mashup weather mashup and select the tag which we have created and save it. And now let's view it. Okay, so this is how the final mashup looks like. Now I will select the beta Fink and will search for a location and bind it to the beta farmland. So I click on the set location button. Let's close the location picker. So as we can see, the temperature for this area is 1 degree Celsius, so the alarm will not be triggered. Now let's search for another location and trigger the alarm. I will click on the set location button and close the location picker, and now the temperature is -3 degrees Celsius. So let's check my inbox and see if we have a new email. Okay, I received an email from Thingworx at weather.com with the subject temp alert for the farmland beta, and the message temperature alert. The temperature is -3 degrees Celsius. In 20 minutes I have just created a fairly sophisticated and useful web application. No programming was required, and it would be easy to further enhance it. Imagine how long this would take if you had to program it from the scratch. The PTC IoT Academic program gives students access to this same platform. It's the same platform that is also used in the industry. The PTC IoT Academic program provides students and educators step-by-step projects that make learning to use Thingworx easy and fun.